What's up, guys? Just gonna jump right into the racing here. 10 seconds calling out from John Jordan. 250 Open A row at Denver, North Carolina Harescramble series, and we're off. And Bradley Chapman there with a great jump. Falling right behind him. Oh, mud on the camera. Thanks, Pete. If you haven't figured it out by now, it's Lil Bro right here. You probably thought Pete sounded a little different. Yeah, so we're going along here. Jumped through about probably 1/3 of the lap or so, waiting for Pete to wipe the mud off his lens. So he's running second behind Bradley here on the YZ250, ahead of him. Yeah, so going through this real fast piece right here is pretty straight. You carry some real speed and momentum through here if you held on the gas. See Pete riding the edges, dodging the bumps, keeping a smooth line. Bradley Chapman, I believe he is a 2019 Full Gas Sprint Enduro Open B champion. He won that on a CR250, so that's pretty epic. I know that because listen to On the Pipe podcast, OTP Tuesdays with Tyler Jefferson. He does a great job. Shout out to Tyler at OTP. Recommend his podcast. Yeah, so Pete's just going along here, just cruising along, keeping a pace, keeping a check-in on Bradley here ahead of him. Not letting him get too far out of sight, just keep him within reach. Don't let him get away. So today, the 250 Open A class featured 5 riders: Noah Tankersley, Peter, Bradley Chapman, right ahead of Pete here, Josh Myers, and Pete's good buddy Jacob Kentz. That's Jacob. He just looked back right behind him. See Jake there, lurking. So we got a 3-rider train going for it, going for the win in 250A. There's Brandon Wyatt right there. He told me he had some issues with gas leaking out on his lap, and he just got his cast off a few days ago. He's still recovering from the injury, and decided to come out here and just put in some laps. Oh, Pete take the big hot line, cutting it in on Bradley. Bradley throwing dirt up everywhere, getting roosted all over Pete, trying to mess up that vision so he can get that gap going. So they cut this new piece right here. It's pretty cool. In the pines, had real nice dirt. They got pretty chopped up by the end of the race, but it was enjoyable, and I'm glad that they could cut some new trail then, because this property's been raced on for 30 or so years. Pretty hard to find some new trail, if any, out here. Pete coming in behind Bradley, missed that super inside hot line that they started taking later in the race. Might have been able to make the pass on Bradley there, but Bradley went wide, wasn't able to capitalize. Yeah, just rolling along here. Was about 85 degrees. There was a chance of rain all day. didn't. Fortunately, there wasn't any rain. I felt a few sprinkles at the end of the race, but other than that, it was good. We got some rain during the week. Track probably would have been pretty dusty without it. But track did end up being slick. I mean, it's Denver. It's what you're always gonna get. Awkward turn right here. Pop it into first. Roll around. See Peter riding the bike real smooth, low RPM, just chugging it, carrying his momentum. There's a route around that mud hole right there. That mud hole get pretty deep. I know, I'm sure every lap the pros just busted right under that ribbon and shot it through there. Wasn't much stopping you from going that way. There's an inside line right here. See Pete misses it. Oh, jump back. New clip. Yeah, so still following Bradley for a while. Haven't been able to get too close to him, but definitely hasn't let him get away yet. He has not created much breathing room over Pete, but Pete he doesn't seem too aggressive, not pushing, not rushing, just cruising, pacing him. These ruts through this section were really, really slimy on the early laps, and they were real rough, hard packed rough from years and years of being raced on. And cool little creek crossing here, one of the many creek crossings here at Denver. This was fun piece right here, fly up this hill. There's an inside hotline, Pete misses it. There's Jake, he just looked back. Jake's still right there, 1-2-3 battle. Yeah. When I'm out here in 250B, I don't know, I guess I just have an eye for the lines. I'm just always able to see him. Pete, I don't know, not as much. No, I'm just messing. Pete has great lines. He can find them. He's been racing a lot longer than I have, and he's got a lot more experience with enduro, so he can flow through the single track a lot better and carries momentum better. So now we're coming down the hill, coming to the big under the bridge creek crossing. Some kids. There's Mason DeJarnett. Shout out Mason. Yeah, so Bradley's still ahead of Pete here. You can see him way up ahead, just barely in the shot. Pete letting him slip away a little bit. Yeah, so coming around here we got, I believe that's John Jordan pointing the line, telling us not to miss the turn. And they cut a very, very small new piece right here. You take a hard left instead of going up that hill. Go through this little bit of single track. My assumption is that they wanted to bypass. There's a real soupy spot up there at the top. It's got a lot of holes. Gets a lot of water in between them. I guess they wanted to bypass that. It seemed like they laid out this trail in anticipation of it being really muddy, and because early in the week there was forecast for it to rain every day, I believe, but it just rained 1 or 2 days, and it was forecast to potentially rain today. So here we're coming back, went through scoring. Pete was second through scoring, about 5 seconds behind Bradley. Coming through here, back under the bridge. There's Ashley. Shout out Ashley, Newton Racing team manager, Pete's girlfriend. She's great. She helps out. She better at loading and unloading bikes and gear than Peter is, that's for sure. Yeah, this section, as you can tell, is very slimy. It's not a fast section, especially not on these opening laps. I definitely struggled through this spot a little bit. I probably washed the front end through this section probably 5 times over the years I've raced here. And then we jump into this new section. It's not new, but different section into the pines. Coming down, real steep downhill right here. Hard left, hard left. Can't miss that. A lot of dudes blew that turn, I'm sure. Just floating along. Alright, so this is the next lap, and here we have Noah Tankersley just running it in on Pete, giving him the business. Pete said he thought that was a rider from Vede. Vede starts the road behind him, but Pete should have known better. It was Noah, and Noah's been riding really good lately. Here Pete gets a leaf on his handguard. It's pretty funny. He puts it under his hand, and now it's on his throttle grip for bonus traction, bonus grip. Yeah, throws that off, and now he loses sight of 1 and 2 guys because of this leaf situation there. Yeah, so Noah's been riding real good lately. He's got the Stu Baylor plastics on his bike, and that's probably why his bike's floating through the trail so good. Got that Stu Baylor energy going. This was another tricky section through here with the slick, really hard pack ruts. You can see all the shine on the dirt from all this wheel spin. Yeah, so Noah was riding really good. He eventually would go on to take the 250A class win, but only a very slim 2 seconds ahead of Pete. I believe Pete caught him I believe Pete said that he came through 2 laps to go 1 minute back. There's Ashley giving him the goggles. Shout out Ashley again. He came through 2 laps to go 1 minute back and made up a minute, 30 seconds each lap, and he caught him half a lap to go and just couldn't make the pass on him. Came through scoring 2 seconds. And yeah, so he eventually got around Bradley. He finished 3rd. And so Pete got 2nd in his class and 13th overall, I believe. And here you'll see some photos from Carson Atima. He's been great. He's just got into the photography game. Shout out Carson. Check him out. Send him some photos. Send him some money for buy his photos. Yeah. So, and then I myself was in 250B. I finished first 250B, but just barely held on. Held on for the win. Tyler Sims running me deep in the last lap, and I finished 15th overall, only 2 spots behind Pete. I really tried to get him in the overall today, but I couldn't do it. So try harder next time, I guess, and we'll make it happen. Peace out.